Hey guys, Six Titan. So welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a little bit different. I've always kind of had this idea floating around in my head, and I've always wanted to do a top 10. And some of these pages that I've chosen aren't big, you know, some of them are kind of small, starting up like me, you know, they're just kind of in the middle. These trucks are just something that's always caught my eye, and every time I see them in my newsfeed, I'm just like, holy cow, that's a nice truck. And so this is kind of my top 10, not overall or anything, but these just kind of came to my mind when I first thought of this video. And it would be really cool, you know, to meet up with some of these guys I have met up with. One of them is actual local, but I'll get to that here in a minute. So we are going to start off with our number one truck. And this isn't number one overall, but we'll just kind of go 1 through 10 as I have them saved on Instagram. And as I pull them up, I'll kind of post a picture here in their Instagram if you guys want to give them a follow. But the first one is a single cab Dodge. It's Big Sexy 2.0. It's a 2012 2500. So there's that, and I have a picture pulled up here. And this thing's pretty slick. Reason I kind of got a soft spot is just because it's single cab. I have a huge soft spot for single cab just because not a lot of people build them. And I get told that a lot, like, wow, I'm surprised you build a single cab. Everyone, you know, a lot of people don't like building them because they're inconvenient. You can't really put a lot of people in it, but I think they're just a really cool truck to build. And so this dude's on 42 by 16 50s on 30 Fury MTs on 30 by 16 American Forces. And just, this thing's just crazy. It's a beautiful build, really well put together. I think the only thing that I would change on it if it were my truck, just put some built headlights and taillights. It looks like he's got his stock one still on it, which, I mean, he probably wants to go kind of a cleaner look, you know. Some people don't really like to change it up that much when it comes to little things like that. And he's got some paint match headlights in the front, so like I said, I think he's already kind of came into consideration with that, so he kind of just wanted to focus on the bigger stuff, and then probably that he'll get to another time. But overall, it's a pretty cool little truck. Well, pretty cool big truck, and it's pretty slick. And so we'll move on to the second truck, and the second one we're looking at is another single cab, but this is a single cab short bed, Jed's Melts. He's got 11.4K followers. His name is Jed Smelts, so his Instagram's after his name. And this thing's just slick, low and wide, single cab short bed. He's got a stack in the back, and it's immaculate. It's a beautiful little truck. I'm not much for, you know, a street tire look and stretch look and stuff like that, but he pulled it off pretty well. And I also just, it's just an immaculate truck. Just seeing it, I'm just like, holy cow. Same thing. I think the only thing I would change on it if it were my truck, just paint match the mirrors maybe, or maybe he doesn't want to go too much yellow, and some different headlights. But other than that, just, it's a beautiful truck. He put a lot of work into it. I'm assuming low and wide, he's going, you know, more for speed. He's not going, you know, a big old lift on some all-terrains or mud tires. So he's got a street tire look, so it looks like he's kind of going for that low and wide look, and it looks like he's got a car and stuff. So I think he's more in the car scene and probably just kind of wanted to incorporate some of that into his truck. But great build. And so we move on to the next one, and it's Hunter_Howard 6. He's got a beautiful maroon cat eye, just super slick. Let's see, he's got 35.4K followers, and it looks like he's on some brushed wheels. Pretty slick, and that's something I kind of would go for if I went for a build like that. A lot of people run chrome, but there's a lot of maintenance to them. I'm not really sure on the brushed because I've never had chrome or brushed, but I feel like the maintenance isn't as high. Correct me if I'm wrong. But it's just really well put. The lighting on it, I like how he messed with his cab lights. Those seem to change the same colors as his headlights, and I really wouldn't change anything about it. I love cat eyes, and this dude did a pretty damn good job. He's got star lights up inside of it, and I like he's got all terrains on it. Got a little bit of a stretched look, but even then it doesn't even look that bad. It's pretty sweet, solid truck. So on to our third truck. Let's see. And we got another single cab, but this one's a Chevy. And this thing caught my eye a little while back because he's running 375s, and I just love that look on a 14 wide. And I'm assuming it's a 14 wide that he's on, but it just looks so good. They don't have a lot of stretch. They sit pretty flush right on it. Yeah, just red Turbo Chevy, 16.4K followers. He's got a lot of work put into this thing, and I mean, it's not anything tacky. It looks really well built. On his headlights and taillights, it looks like he just kind of went a little more simple. It looks like they're smoked out, but it looks good overall. I don't see really anything that I would change on this thing. I think it's an overall really beautiful build, especially these older trucks like this. I know that you got to put a lot of work and time into them, just getting them looking, my voice cracked, getting them looking as clean, you know, as modern trucks. So I'm assuming he got it repainted, unless he just found a really immaculate truck and just, you know, got lucky with it. Move on to the next one. Salty_78, and this is just a beautiful freaking truck. I want one of these so bad. Got 13.6K followers, and it's just looking at it, you just, oh my gosh. Same thing, single cab, and I wouldn't change anything about this truck. This truck's beautiful. He kept it classy, you know, it wasn't crazy, you know, he didn't rice it out or anything. It doesn't look like it's squatted or nothing. It just, dude put a lot of money into this, for sure. It looks like dude's about 20 years old, so he's got a pretty good taste in trucks. Man, it's just, I really wouldn't change anything about this truck. I'd keep it exactly the way it is. I would drive the crap out of this thing for sure. I think this is one of my most favorite trucks on Instagram. He doesn't really seem to post a lot. I think that's probably the only thing I changed on this page. Post more pictures so I can see the truck. That one, and we'll move on to the next truck. This one is Cable Customs. I've been following them for a while, since they were like at 1,000 followers or something. It actually used to be named something else, and then they changed it to their company name because they actually build dent sides and swap motors. They got actually this dent side right here. Well, I'll post a picture here as well. And that thing's got a 6.0 Powerstroke in it. And people would go like, why the hell would you put a Powerstroke like that in a beautiful truck? It's just like, well, I mean, they want to be different. These guys know their Powerstrokes. That's all that they focus on. Why not put a 12 Av in it? Why not put a Duramax? Or, you know, it's just different. Not a lot of people do this, especially, you know, they go all the way through the motor. They bulletproof them and build them well. So it's not like it's all rigged together. They put Harley Davidson seats in these trucks. One of them that they just freshly built, they did a whole dash swap on it. Like, these guys are crazy. Like, they know what they're doing for sure. And I just really like their page because they got a little bit of everything. They got a lifted dually on it. It's her truck, and I think her boyfriend's is I think they're boyfriend and girlfriend. Pretty sure they're together. But they got multiple different trucks in there, but I really do like that older style 4 with a 6.0 in it. It's just super mean, sounds mean. Here's a cold start of it. And this thing's by no means a pavement princess at all. These guys take them off-roading, and it's just crazy the type of videos that they always post. Pretty good content when it comes to their mudding videos, just not your every day-to-day thing. They're out of British Columbia, Canada. They got 8,123 followers. So let's move on to the next one. And this dude, I really like his truck, is 60_Vic. And he's got a really slick 6.0 Powerstroke, and he's a humble dude. I've talked to him quite a few times, and he kind of just blew up. I think he's had this truck for a while, and then one day he's like, I guess I'll make an Instagram, and just started blowing up. He got these followers within, I think, less than a year. And just pretty cool dude. He's right now working on building a slam dually, a single cab dually. He's got a pretty cool daily at freaking Tahoe, and this dude just got it made. I think he's got his own construction company. Been following him for a while, but definitely likes his Coronas. He's got a tattoo and shares stuff about it. But pretty slick truck. He's at 9,171 followers. But yeah, he's got beautiful builds, a daily and 2 6.0s, slammed and lifted. It's the best of both worlds. Let's move on to the next one. This truck right here is freaking insane. I love this truck ever since I've been following for a good while. And it's a single cab long bed 6.0 Powerstroke. His name's Purple_Elephant 6.0. And he's got 38.8K followers. I'm sure a lot of you have actually seen his stuff. He gets shared all the freaking time. Super cool dude. I actually remember seeing him on a Powerstroke page when his truck was like maroon. and his brother something was posted on there. He's like, you guys aren't ready for what's coming next. And I mean, you'd never think this dude would build something, because you usually see stuff on those pages like people building their trucks, they just put a little lift on and stuff, but this dude went above and beyond, and it's just wide. I think that's the thing I love it. It's just an aggressive freaking truck. I used to have those same type of headlights in my truck, and the light output wasn't very good, and although they were cool for a while, once I kind of got around, I saw more people with them, and I felt like they were a little bit tacky. But I mean, that doesn't really affect the truck. The truck itself is just badass. I really do like the truck a lot, but that's just my perspective, you know. And I keep saying, you know, that I would do this to this truck, do that, when mine, you know, may not be as equivalent as theirs, or I don't even have built headlights in mine, which I'm working on. But I mean, that's just my opinion thrown out there. With their type of budget and the way that their trucks are, I'm sure that they could, you know, throw some headlights on there. But super freaking sweet truck. It's an F350 on 22x16s, and him and his brother actually set up shows. It's 814 Takeover. Love to go to that one day. But yeah, just freaking super aggressive truck, and that front bumper just makes it look really mean. He's got that big old D-ring just like me on the back of his truck. It's paint matched, and he just put a lot of work into this thing, and I know that he did it because I've been watching the process, you know, go. And the one thing that I would change on this truck are the headlights. We'll move on to this one right here. This dude's pretty cool, and he paints a lot of, well, all this stuff on his own. He does all this type of body work. I think he does, you know, that stuff on the side, or well, he probably does it as his job, and then he does this, you know, to his truck on the side. But it's low 6.0, and he's got 3,085 followers, and it's a single cab short bed 6.0, and this thing's just freaking sweet. I mean, I just cannot get enough of this truck. Every single time I see him, just like, ooh, there's that little truck again. And it's a single cab short bed. He went through, he painted the headlights, everything. Everything's paint matched on it, everything they can think of. He's even got that red visor that goes over. So this thing's pretty cool. Pretty cool dude himself, and I just really can't get enough of this truck. You don't see a lot of them, and he just recently stacked it, so that's pretty crazy. Well, let's stack on the hood stack. And I really can't change anything about it except just put some projectors in it, because I asked him, I'm like, well, how bad is that light output? Since he literally paint matched the whole thing, he's like, it's horrible. So I mean, it looks cool, but I'm sure it's not very safe at night. Luckily, he doesn't have his windshield tinted 5%, because 5% with paint matched mirrors like that, dead. Don't get caught at night, you know. See, and for our very last one, this is actually one of my buddies. He lives, oh, drop off almost. He lives not too far from here. He actually came out to one of our shows, and he's been building it since last summer. I think him and his dad got together on it, and this thing's just freaking slick. And pictures do not do this truck justice at all. It's just a beautiful dent side. I've been wanting to build something like this for a while. They pulled it completely apart, used parts off other dent sides, and he's got some welds on it. I'm not really sure what size tires, but he's on a 4-inch lift, I believe, and he sits pretty high. Oh, here you go. He's on 15x12 Mickey Thompsons and 35 1250 Milestar Patagonias or whatever, and he's got a 400 big block in it. So I mean, this truck's, you really don't see a lot of like this out there. And the funny thing is, I was talking to him about it the other day. I'm like, how often do you drive this thing around? And he's just like, I really don't. I said, why? I would drive the crap out of this thing everywhere, you know. I love cruising in my truck, so I can't imagine, you know, the kind of attention you get in that old truck, you know. He's just like, I get stopped every single time I go to Walmart or anything. They just, you know, older folk go, well, back in my day, I used to have me a truck just like that, you know. And so like, they just bring back old memories from all these old timers, and it just really brightens up their day seeing, you know, a younger kid, I think, building a truck like that, because most of them are, you know, squatting them, putting rubber band tires on them, stretch bubble tires and stuff like that. And he went old school, and he kept it old school, and so they really like that. And it's not crazy high, even though it does sit pretty high for a 4-inch lift. It's crazy how high those trucks sit. But yeah, that's my final truck. If you guys want to see me, you know, kind of do this more often, just make sure to like, subscribe, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see you next time.